Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
I'm your host, Devon.
And I'm your host, Kendra.
We are real moms.
Sharing real experiences. The things people don't tell you.
What up?
What's going on?
Yo, daddy, yo.
Yo, daddy, yo. There we
What's
go.
going on? If this is your first time listening to the Real Mama Pod, this ain't the Real Mama Pod today.
Hell no.
You got the daddies in the building.
That's right.
And we are here to have a good time and give y'all something a lot different.
That's it. I couldn't have said it any better. This ain't the Real Mama Pod. This the Real Man Pod.
Ooh,
this shit hits so much better. It's so much better. But go ahead, Ferg. What you got, man?
Man, so we've been on here before, and if you have seen us on the show before, or if you haven't, my name is Jonathan. I am Kendra's better half.
So sorry, brother.
And who are you?
I'm Jared Grace. I am Devon's better half.
There it is. You got the better halves today. You got a better whole.
Ooh, wait.
And we are here with the Real Mama Pod's permission.
Yes.
We can't do a damn thing without their permission. But we are here with their permission in their space to take over.
Take this shit over.
That's it. But we've been on here before. We've had our own space. We've had our own conversations before. And in the past, we always just kind of start with a check-in. So I just wanted to check in with you, bro, and see how you doing. How are you?
Yep. So, man, 2024 has been hell, bro. Yeah. It's been hell. Like, the loss of Kennard, you know, the things that our wives are going through in terms of the health of their moms and their you know, the health of our parents. Yeah. 2024 has been challenging. Yeah. I think we can grow from it, but I think right now we just have to try to stay together and get through it. But to answer your question, I'm doing good. It's not my best, it's not my worst, but you know, it's always darkest before your time of good. So
yeah, I hear you. I don't even fucking know, Jerry. I am. Some days I'm in a good space. Some days I'm not. Had we had this conversation a few months ago, this would have been some dark shit.
Yeah.
But in this moment today, right now, as we sit here, I'm feeling decent.
Okay.
But like as you mentioned, all these ups and downs, all these challenges throughout this year, it's been a lot. To the point where right now I'm getting ready to go back to work, but I've been out of work for a while just because I needed some time, right? And I think I didn't even know this until my therapist kind of mentioned it to me, right? But having FMLA, having some time off from work for depression, and I'm a psychologist. I didn't realize that was an option, right? And it was recommended to me, and I was like, you know what? That don't sound bad. I think I could use some time, and so I've been out of work for like the past month, and it's helped me to kind of get my life back in order. Right, work takes up so much time, just from let me take that back. It takes up so much space, both from a time perspective, a mental perspective, emotional perspective, and I feel like my family, myself, everybody was just getting leftovers. What I had in the tank, or the very reserves of the goddamn tank. Yeah. Right? Where I was showing up at work and giving everything that I had, which still wasn't much, right? Because I was in this bad space. And now, feeling like I can take a step back from work and give where I'm supposed to give where I need to give, and prioritize those things. It's felt a lot better.
Man.
I'm feeling better.
That's good. That's good, because I know you're not a crier, bro. I saw you cry for the first time You know, and you know what we're talking about. I don't mean to get emotional right now, but I'm glad to see you in a better space. Honestly,
Appreciate that.
yeah. I was worried about you for a minute,
Yeah,
but I'm
shit,
glad
me
you're in a
too.
better space. Yep. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Shit, I was worried too.
Mhm.
But yeah, man. And I'm glad you're in a good space as well. Yeah.
Appreciate it, brother.
And so that as we talk about like where we are, it makes me think about as men, right? We're often our role is often providers, right?
Yes.
But I think a lot of people have been socialized to think about providers as like financial providers. Financial providers, we're supposed to be the breadwinners. We give, we put the meat on the table, right?
Yeah.
But I think, particularly like today's fathers, I think we give a lot more than just finances, right?
Yeah.
We
100%.
we are invested in the day to day of what's happening in our home with our children.
Yeah.
Right? We're putting out a lot.
Yes.
Right? And so with that, I guess I wanted to just check in and see where you are in terms of like, where do you get support? Who's kind of pouring into you?
That's a good question. So you mean like as far as like literally, figuratively, like who, like literally, what person is pouring into me?
It doesn't even have to be a person.
Okay.
Where's your? There might be multiple sources.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Where are your sources of support? Right. Who lifts you up?
The first person that I look to is Devon. The first person I look to is my wife, but she's been going through so much right now. Maybe she can't do it. Right. And I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of people that I call friends. So then I have to look into myself.
Yeah.
And that's hard. But when you talk about, and I'm specifically speaking about self-worth.
Yeah.
But when you talk about self-worth, you have to first define it for yourself. And what that means to me is my self-worth does not come from what other people think about me. It doesn't come from achievements. It doesn't come from what Devon thinks I'm doing right or wrong. It doesn't come from what my kids are thinking about. My self-worth comes from the fact that I know that I'm unique and I know that I have self-worth because I'm here. The chances of us being here in general is just astronomical, right? Like we know the math, right? So the fact that you're here, you are worth something. And you have to believe in that. And you have to understand that when life is just coming at you from all different directions, you have to know and understand that you're deeply rooted in a foundation of confidence and knowing that you're worth something. Even if nobody else wants to tell you, even if nobody else wants to acknowledge it, even if nobody else wants to sit there and just take the time to say, I appreciate what you did, you're good. Yeah. And so I think and I've depended on Devon so much, and it's not even her fault because I don't have a best friend. Like I don't. She's always been that person for me, but she has so much going on right now. She can't pour into me right now, and I can't hold it against her. Yeah. So I have to go into myself and be like, you know what, Jared, you're worth something. You're good, and you have to understand that what you're doing matters. Yeah.
That's real, bro. And I feel like you were preaching to me for a moment, right? Because like I was talking about this being in this bad space earlier, right? And I feel like that's part of what I lost, right? I felt like that's part of what I was missing. When I looked into the mirror, right, I wasn't the same confident man that I once was, right? The confidence that I had, I wasn't carrying it with me every day, right? And I was questioning myself more than I ever had. And now, having these reminders of who I am, I think has been really helpful, right? Taking a step out of some of the spaces where I was putting energy and thinking about like who I am, what I've done has been helpful. And like redefining my confidence, rebuilding it. But in terms of like where I draw my support, yeah, of course, my wife is a big part of that. She's the main part of that, right? And I think other places are, I do look to friends, right? For when, particularly if there's something that, like, there are things that we might encounter as men that my wife just isn't gonna understand.
100%,
right?
yeah.
It's gonna be different. There's not, everything that I experience, particularly if it's something that's related to her, right? It's maybe not an issue that I need. I want to communicate with her, right? And like in terms of getting some support, some guidance on how to navigate this, sometimes I need another man's perspective, right? Because it looks different. And so I think leaning on friends, being open and vulnerable is a helpful thing, but it's also a hard thing for me.
Yes.
Right? I tend to kind of lean on, well, I've always kind of leaned on my own strength, right?
Yeah.
And so it's been a challenge in just kind of seeking support in other spaces outside of me just, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be weary. I'd be cautious of leaning on your own strength because eventually, bro, we run out.
Yeah.
I never thought I would say that.
Yeah.
But eventually we do run out. And eventually it's just like, bro, like I need something. I need a lifeline. I need anything you can give me. Just give it to me. Like you're in a good space because you had time and you took the time to create meaningful relationships. And I never did that. And so I'm happy for you that you have that. But when you don't, and you lean on your own strength, it just runs out. Yeah. It runs out. But no, that's deep. I like it.
And I know you've been really open about like being on your walk, as you say, right?
Yeah. Why you laughing?
Because I just think it's the being on my walk is the countryest way to say
it. I'm on my walk.
Build your relationship with God. So that's why I laugh every time I hear like on my walk.
Yeah.
But so you've been open and honest about like being on your walk.
Yes.
And I think recently I've been doing like this small group associated with the church.
Oh, good.
And we recently joined a new church here in Atlanta, and I, for the first time, right, have started to, and this all happened like during my break as well, right, starting to draw some guidance outside of my own head, right? Meaning like reading and engaging with the word, right?
Yeah.
I'm not out here to be no Bible thumping, preaching, telling everybody to go do to go read the Bible and find all your lessons. And I think reading and journaling and reflecting has been helpful for me, right, recently, as a different place to think about as another source, right, of strength when I'm on my reserves, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people would argue that that's not, you should do it regardless, right? You don't have to be
on your last leg.
Right? But that's been helpful for me recently too. So I just wanted to note that because I know you've been on your walk as well.
No, it's crazy, man. Because the only reason Devon introduced me to one of her lifelong friends. His name was Kevin. His name is Kevin McKenzie, and he started his own church in Savannah. And I grew up in the church. I grew up in an Episcopal church. My mother was Episcopalian, and I was an altar boy and all that. But I was never into it. Yeah. Never bought into any of it. And then, I told Kevin, I said, man, I'll be a part of this church build, but this is it. Like, it's either going to be here or I'm done with the church. Yeah. That's when it started. And then he bought me a Bible. I got baptized, and he bought me a Bible. Yeah. And I started reading that Bible. I'm in the book of Acts now. And it, the light just clicked for me. Like there are a lot of lessons in the Bible. And earlier you put a precursor to it. I'm not here to be a Bible thumper. No, I am here to be a Bible thumper. You get in that Bible and you'll learn a lot about yourself, and you'll learn a lot about how things are supposed to happen. You'll learn if all your questions are in there. What you look for in a wife. What is she supposed to be like? Well, the Bible says she's supposed to be full of integrity and character. She's supposed to be full of nourishment. She's supposed to be this. She's supposed to be that. She's not supposed to be the baddest girl walking down the corner with a fat ass or whatever. And I know I'm talking about the Bible and cursing. I'm on my walk. There you go. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's not the looks of the woman that's going to raise your kids. It is that character. It is that integrity. It is her heart. There are some cold people out here in this world. And I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to tell you that Anybody who finds a wife finds a good thing, but every woman is not a wife at the point that you meet her in. Everybody can change, but understand what it looks like and understand that you need to hold on to it if you find it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're in for some hard times.
So you mentioned I love the way this transitions, right? You mentioned just finding a wife is a good thing, and how in reference to the text, right? In reference to the Bible, I wonder just how that support and how that love essentially is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like how that that support and pouring into how that shows up for you in your marriage. Maybe not. I phrased that poorly, but how does that? How do you receive that support in your marriage? And I know you talked about like recently with everything that Devon's had going on, right? It's been tough, right? But I guess generally speaking, how does that show up, or how does that happen for you in your marriage?
How does my walk?
How do you receive that support
From the Lord?
No, from your wife.
Oh yeah. So listen, I got completely lucky. I had no idea what to look for in a woman. I had no idea what to look for in a wife. I just met Devonish. I thought she was beautiful. And Devonish stuck with me for so long, and we got married. Just so happened, Devonish is wife material.
Yeah.
And the Lord blessed me with Devonish. There's a story. I prayed for Devonish a long time ago. It's very corny. But I literally saw her, and I was like, hey, let me meet this woman. Because she is fine as a bottle of wine. Not shortly after, there we are in B-Dub. She walking the dough from her little modeling thing. That's a true story.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be no testimony. Now, is Devonish perfect? No. But Devonish is a wife. Devonish has been through me through thick and thin, and so I see the benefits of having a wife because I have one.
Yeah.
And it's not because of, Jared knew. No, it's because of the grace of God. She put her in my life. And Devon has pushed me towards Christ. I was not going that route. Devon, hey, Jared, let's go to church. Hey, Devon, this is my friend Kevin. He's trying to build a church. Hey, Devon, hey, Jared, why don't you get baptized? And the whole time, there she is right there in front of my face, and always took her for granted for a long time. Yeah. For a very long time, I took Devon for granted. I complained about Devon a lot. Yeah. But lo and behold, she is that blessing in disguise for me.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
But she's not perfect.
So I say the same about Ken, right?
Really? Let me stop. I'm stupid. I'm dumb.
No, she's been a big push in the same way spiritually, right? And she is always there for me emotionally when I make the step to communicate.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm forever grateful for that, and I don't know where my life would be without Kendra, right? That said, right, still within a marriage as men, right, I think, I'll speak for me. I do sometimes feel like it's hard to communicate kind of what I'm feeling, or sometimes it almost feels like, not that my feelings are taken for granted, right? But
they are.
That
Shoot.
They are almost like. Sometimes it feels as though I am not supposed to have feelings, right?
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to react, or I'm not supposed to. And this is in society, but I also see this within my own marriage, right, with Kendra, right, where sometimes it feels like. Where it's hard for me to have a response because as men we're not supposed to, right? As men we're supposed to be even and kind of stoic, right? You
got it. Yeah.
Jinx.
Yeah. We on the same page.
Right. We're supposed to be this rock, right, at all times, and it doesn't acknowledge that we're not superhuman, right? We are just human men, and we still feel. And I think there's a lot of things that we all have to unlearn ourselves and our wives, that we're unlearning together. Through this journey. So yeah, while my wife is very supportive when I communicate, sometimes if I'm not like, hey, let's sit down, and I really want to express to you how I'm feeling, particularly if it's something that is where we're in conflict, right? It's almost like I'm not supposed to have feelings at times.
No, that's fair. And so, I give Kendra a lot of crap, right? But I've watched you guys in a public setting, like Friendsgiving and stuff like that, where y'all might have an altercation. And I have to say, I do admire the way that Kendra handles that, because I've seen you so frustrated to the point where, everybody thinks Jonathan's this cool, calm, collected guy. But I have seen Jonathan, right? I forgot what y'all were arguing about, but I saw you kind of not fly off the handle, but you were frustrated. You were actively frustrated. And I saw Kendra calmly say, you know what? She does this, darling, right? Darling, let's go upstairs and talk about it. And in that moment, I said, well, look at that shit there. Because there's a lot of women that would have just right then been like, just let you have it. But she didn't do that to you, right? She took it into a private setting. Y'all probably talked about it, together, which is, I thought that was really good. And I think that's, for men who are looking for something in a woman, like, look for that quality.
Yeah.
Because she's not just going to sit there and act a fool in public in front of people. That's not what Kendra will do. Yeah. And I do appreciate that. Yeah. She took you off the side, and you was the one acting a fool for her. Yeah. You was it. And I remember, because I was like, look at this nigga. He is human. He does get upset. Yeah. Oh, snap. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there looking, and of course I'm drinking. And I'm like, look at this dude getting upset. And I saw Kendra, I said, well, that's all right. That's all right. And I had gained a lot of respect for y'all's union in that moment. I never said anything about it. You probably don't even remember what happened, do you? I know. We was at Jody's house. We was at Jody and Gary's house. And y'all were on the steps. And you said, I forgot what you said, but it was aggressive. And I said, ooh. Like, I was like, fur bucking up at Kendra. Oh, shit. Because she from Pensacola. And she ain't got no sense. But she had sense that day. And no, I really did admire the way, not just Kendra, both of y'all handled that. Like, y'all went upstairs, y'all came back down, and I was just sitting there just looking. I didn't say a word, and that's rare, right? Because I'm always talking. But I just looked at y'all, and y'all was like, I just shook my head like, well, that's all right. Mm-hmm. That's what a married couple should fucking do. Yeah. But anyway, I rarely give your wife credit, okay? But I give y'all her. She deserves flowers for that one, because you came at her kind of hard.
I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think what we do a lot, right, is we will be fiery, and this is our dynamic, right? We will be in the moment. We have a lot of fire and flames for one another, that aren't friendly, right? We retreat to our corners. We both need space. We both need time. Once we have had some time to reflect and come back, we can have a civil conversation. And we can work through it. So,
amen. That's good.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. So, I think part of kind of another aspect of this, right, that we're talking about is how do we love and receive love from our spouses, right?
Ooh. Yeah.
So how do you show up and love Devonish, right? And how do you feel like you receive that love in return?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I wish I would have read these questions before you, because you sent them to me, but I didn't read them. How do I give Devonish love? I recently noticed that the way I give Devon love is so sporadic, and sometimes it's so contradictory, because I know what I'm supposed to do. I know my own flaws. And so when I'm trying to be genuine, be like, babe, I love you, just give me a chance to do this, she's looking at me like, no, because I know what you did before, right? And in my mind, I'm just, I can't be mad at her for that, because she's right. Like, I built that wall, And now I have to try to tear it down before I can even take that route, right? And this might have happened years ago, years and years ago. But things that happened years ago have long-lasting effects. And so if I grow and I come back and say, hey, you can trust me. Like, I really just care about you in this moment. I just want to help you. And she looks at me, she says, no, I don't trust you. And so how do I give her love? It's just not giving up. Yeah. Like, right, just keep trying. Like, acknowledging the fact that, yes, I built that wall. And I'm a good fucking builder. Right?
You are goddamn.
I will build it, and now I have to assault the wall, and it is just sturdy.
Demolition.
Oh my goodness. And it takes so much C4 to break it down. But you know what? I will scour the earth for every piece of C4 and keep trying to blow that wall down. I don't care how tired I get. I don't care how many times she tells me, no, Jared, I don't, this is not a safe space for me. You right. It's not, it hasn't been. And now I have to make it right. And so I'll get more and more C4, more and more C4. I'll make C4 if I have to keep trying to blow that wall down. And that's just the way where I'm at right now, trying to show my wife love. The way I receive it, shit, I don't know. Like, Devon's kind of cold. People don't know this. Devon's cold. Like, cold as fuck. Like, but if the situation is, like, dire, if it's like, if I go to Devon and be like, hey, I'm on my last leg, like, I don't know what I'm going to do, she'll stop. She'll say, all right. She'll put herself aside. She did it recently, too. Like, I was like, Devon, I'm done. Like, I'm at my valley. I can't do this anymore. And, she came into the room that night. We was sleeping in separate rooms. And she was like, hey, I just want to check on you. And, that's hard for somebody to do, to, like, be like, okay, we do not like each other right now. Mm-hmm. But, like, all that aside, like, let me check on you real quick. Yes. Yeah. And I fucked that up, too. I did. I was still mad, and I messed it up. And when she like stormed out of the room, I did, bro. Right, like, and when she stormed out of the room, I laid back down, and I was like, damn, that was a chance for me to. That was a little bit more C4 that I had to blow that wall, and I decided not to pull the trigger because of my own insecurities. And so she does pour into me, especially in those moments. And I'm trying to recognize those moments, because there are a lot of those moments, and I'm. Any advice that I could give to somebody else is be like, recognize when you have time to pour into that love bank. Yeah. Because if you don't, you're just going to fortify that wall back up. Yeah. And you have to tear it down eventually.
Yeah. It's hard, bro, right? Like, we have our patterns, we have our behaviors, we have our separate personalities. Yeah. That we are still. You think y'all been married I think at this time it'll probably be 10 years by the time this episode airs. Right? Yeah. We've been married 7 years, right?
Damn, 7 years.
Yeah.
Time. Anyway, sorry, bro. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Shit, time.
Damn, bro.
But you're learning every day still. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? It's never like marriage is both like, or having a strong marriage is both a goal and a process at the same time. Yeah. You are looking for it, trying to attain it, but it's constant. It's a work in progress. You're building this plane as you fly. Yeah. Right? And I think for us, right, I think the way that I show love for Ken is the ways that feel good to me, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the time. I try to make sure that I'm also showing up in the way that she wants to receive it, right?
That's strong, yeah.
So the way that she receives love is by acts of service, right? Like, she appreciates when I am thinking about her mental load. Buzzword for the
I can't believe you said that word in our daddy's day. But go ahead, Ferg, mental load. Scrap that from the whole show. Fuck the mental load.
When I'm thinking about her.
Yeah.
Right? When she can. So not when I'm thinking about her in the way that I want to think about her, right? Not when I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do to her. Not when I'm thinking about how I'm gonna love on her and do all these things, right? Or not even because Kendra's not like the most affectionate person, right? And now we both made our wives out to be cold as fuck, refrigerators.
Call it what it is, Ferg. Huh?
That's not even what I mean, though. But
That's what I mean. They cold.
Frigid.
Winter done came, bro. Huh? They the ice folk.
Night king.
Oh, Lord.
Please.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, you call that shit what it is. We be honest on the mama pod. We got some cold ass wives. Huh?
You know what? Fuck it.
They cold as fuck.
But when it comes to me, my top most important love languages, or the only important ones, the rest of them really don't speak to me at all.
Yeah.
Are really words of affirmation.
Okay.
And physical touch. 1 and 2, 1A, 1B for real.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like to communicate what I'm feeling to my wife. She is words of affirmation is like probably second to last on her list, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm gonna write out a goddamn essay about how I'm feeling and text it to her. I think I'm being sweet, and she's like, "Oh, thanks, babe."
Don't even read it. I'm about to read this long ass
You
paper.
all didn't read. I hope either I'm sorry for what happened or thank you, right? Like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how her response is, right? But she is appreciative when I am attentive to what she has going on, and I'm trying to jump in to help, right? Or take things off her plate, right?
Does she give you those words of affirmation when you do that?
She's getting that.
Okay.
I think she's really just starting to pay attention and start to pick up like that. I appreciate like a thank you. Right?
That's good that she getting that.
And I've realized that over the last few months, for real.
Right.
Yeah,
it took 7 years, y'all. 7 years, and now over the last couple months. So hang in there. Just hold on, baby. Hold on. It takes years. You want that thank you? Shit.
I'm learning what we know, right?
Exactly.
And so it's a process, bro.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes a long time to get a thank you.
Boy.
I see you. I appreciate
Woo, you gotta not see you.
Not in those words. But that's what it felt like to me.
You gotta at least have 20 to get an I see you, brother. They blind for them 20 years though. They don't. Let me stop. Damn.
Oh man.
No. This is what I do want to say. You know, it's, and I'm always, like I said, I'm transparent. I'm an open book. You know, when you place so much emphasis on what is going wrong and you're unable, and I say that intentionally, unable to place even a fraction of that amount of emphasis on what is going right, you are destined to fail. Let me give you an example. Can I get a snap? Let me give you an example. I won't be too personal. Let's just say hypothetically speaking. Hypothetically.
Yeah.
You take off work, John. You busy at work now. But you take a whole day off work because you realize how often you've been gone and the house looks crazy. And you know that your wife operates better in an organized space. You take the time off of work when you're supposed to be working to organize that space. Now, hypothetically speaking, men don't clean as well as women sometimes, hypothetically speaking. But it transforms the space.
Absolutely.
It took 10 hours to do it, hypothetically.
That's hard work. That's more than you put in that work.
Say it again. And I ain't get paid. In sex or nothing. So, hypothetically speaking, your significant other comes home and looks around and they hypothetically say, the house looks great, babe, thanks. I want y'all to put a timer on how long that took. Let's do it one more time. I like the way the house looks, babe, thanks. End timer. That was probably 1.5 seconds?
Something like that.
Okay, all right. Fast forward. Busy day. Dishes were left in the sink.
How many dishes you think?
About 2 pots, couple plates. A significant amount of dishes. Fuck it. A significant amount of dishes.
You can say a sink full of dishes.
A sink full of dishes. The day prior, hypothetically speaking,
Hypothetically.
the whole house was clean.
Uh-huh.
You got your 1.5 seconds of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
How much time you think was put into them dishes the next day, Ferg? Hypothetically speaking. We was late to the function, Ferg. We couldn't get to where we was going, Ferg, because it took that damn long.
Hypothetically.
Of course, hypothetically. Hypothetically speaking, we talked about that shit for an hour and a half. And every word I said was intentional. Go back and edit it. All that to say, put the same amount of energy in the good as you do the bad. I said a whole word. I felt that.
I would love to see a sermon.
Boy, I don't even know the scripture that lead to it. Huh? But yeah, so I just wanted to add that.
No, I hear you. So I think sometimes, I've heard Devon say that your top love language is physical touch, right?
That's my only love language, Ferg.
Only one, right?
Just hug me.
It ain't even got to be the love hug.
Whoa, boy.
Just touch me.
A pat on the back. And I done had a great week.
A head rub.
Oh. Now you trying to... you trying to get out the back.
It was subtle. But like sometimes, I'm not sure if this is how it feels for you. And it sounds like, for the example that you gave, it feels like in our acts of service, right?
Yeah.
When we are trying to put forth these acts of service, it feels like we got to be right all day to get 1.5 seconds in return.
Yes.
Words of affirmation.
Yes.
You might not get the physical touch that you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
But you might get a, oh, thanks, babe.
And that's it. Boy, you better bask in that glory.
You better
bask in that.
Take it back out and look at it every time you get it down. Oh,
I've recorded it before. And just listen back to it. She said it, y'all. Here it is.
But it feels like we gotta be perfect
all
day, right?
Yes.
Just to receive, if we are gonna get that love in return, right? The way that we receive love, right?
Yes.
And I don't know, sometimes that is exhausting when you feel like I've done so much, I put in so much service.
Yes.
I'm busting my ass. And damn it, I forgot the dishes.
It's hypothetically speaking, dog. Hypothetically speaking.
And now all the service I done put in
is all just null and void.
Fuck it. Right?
I agree. Let me ask you something, Ferg.
Uh-huh.
And I know I ask you this because I know what my answer is, but I know you can give just a much better answer just because of who you are. Do you feel like you receive unconditional love from Kendra? And it's the real daddy pod.
So I think that's what we were just talking about, right? Like, we have to be perfect throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
If I want some sex, I got to be on it all the time. I better not slip.
Boy, and that's for lazy booty. That's for lazy. I don't even think it's a such thing as enthusiastic booty no more. You reach a certain point. Look here. Yawning and shit. You sure you want to? Yeah, I'm trying to be sexy, baby.
Come on.
Yeah, and it's just a rollover and just a... What the fuck is that? Just are you awake?
Right.
They hurry up.
Right.
I got you.
We're not gonna be here all night. I guess I gotta hurry this part up.
Right. Damn.
God damn.
But I'm sorry, I messed up your question.
You did not. You hit the nail on the head.
That enthusiastic booty gone. Shit.
We got more enthusiasm in this conversation.
Right now.
It feels like the love that we receive is on the condition of all of the work that we have. And it has to be, So we can talk about the conditions of like work and providing and safety and all those things.
Yeah.
But even if we're just talking about on a day to day, how we receive love.
Yeah.
In order to get the words of affirmation that I need, right, to feel love. In order to get the physical touch that I need to feel loved, I have to be perfect.
Oof.
All day.
Yeah.
That just on a daily condition.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the condition.
Yeah.
That is the agreement. That's the social agreement, social construct that we have in our household.
But bro, that is what you just said it. We receive unconditional love under the condition
Yeah.
that something is done.
Yeah.
Therefore, we don't receive unconditional love.
No. We have to provide
Oh
love.
my goodness.
We have to provide love. A lot of it.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Right?
A lot of it for a lazy, just a yawn and a fucking. You right. You got it for. But don't unfollow the mama pod because of this. Rather, just give your man some enthusiastic booty. Just do that one time, and you know what it is. Just get up on your hands and knees one time. That's enthusiastic. At 10 years of marriage, that's enthusiastic.
Or even, yes. That would be amazing. That would be amazing, right? But lower level. Right?
Oh, that's too much.
That's a lot to ask. I think even like an I see you
Ooh.
means so much.
Yes.
I see how hard you're working.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But no, like an I see you, I appreciate you goes a long way.
Agreed.
And I don't mean this to say to what our conversation to suggest that like I never get that from my wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, again, it feels like I have to give 100%
Yes.
and be
Perfect.
not miss a single response to get that. If I fuck it up, I'll try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
That's messed up. I don't like it. But, it is what it is. But I feel you.
yeah,
I feel you 100%.
yeah.
Just enthusiastic booty. Go ahead, bro.
We are going to now step outside.
Okay.
We stepping outside,
Step outside.
and we going on to Daddy's deck.
Here we are.
We going to Daddy's deck.
Deck.
So we stepping outside.
Mhm.
We out here with our drinks.
Yep.
You know what? We keep it. When the men come on here, we keep it so real. We ought to just start coming out here with our shirts off. We should
Right.
We should do a goddamn episode, bellies and brews.
That's
Shirts
it.
Off
Just
out here.
dad
100%.
bods.
Hopefully
100%.
by the next time we on here, I ain't got as much belly, but
Shit. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
we outside.
Yeah.
We outside.
Hell yeah.
On Daddy's deck. And so just as we had this conversation around love, receiving love,
Yeah.
I wanted to pose this question to you
Yeah.
about how do you love on yourself? I think you alluded to it earlier.
Yeah, with
in
the
our
self-love.
conversation. Yeah, but for the sake of us being outside, having us a cocktail on the porch, on the
Yeah.
deck, how do you love on yourself?
As a man, yeah.
As I framed that, secondly, it sounded real. I'm getting real sophomoric, and it feels real.
I get it. I get what you're
So how do
saying.
you love on yourself?
Yeah, how do you love? I did allude to it earlier with the self-worth bit that I was talking about, but you have to just have confidence in what you're doing, man, and then you have to notice the growth in your family, because that didn't just happen accidentally. You have a part of that.
Yeah.
You have a part. You are more than what you provide. You're more than the money that you make. You're more than the protection that you provide. Your presence, my presence in my household is essential. Mm-hmm. It's essential. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that I do it perfectly. I'm just saying that I do it. Mm-hmm. And so that reassurance is my confidence to myself, saying that, I have to be here. I have to be there for Drew and Jay. I have to be there for Devon. And she might disagree, but I have to be there for my family. And that's how I like knowing my value in my household. That is the way that I give myself self-love. And I'm very interested in what you have to say about that. Yeah. Like, cause I need more.
That's real though.
Yeah.
I think that is just that alone, right? Is powerful, right? Knowing your worth, knowing, having full belief and full confidence of the value that you bring to your household, is, and not having to have that not having to have that validated, right? Externally, you can have that and believe it and know it without anyone having to say anything to you, right? Like that is a powerful mental space to be in, and so that in itself is healing, right? And I think I am again reminding myself of that, right? Of how important I am to my family, to all the things that I'm involved in, right? How necessary I am, and how I have done a lot of different things, not by accident.
Right, yeah.
Right? I have a lot of gifts that have allowed me and my family to be where we are today, right? And this is not negating the gifts that my wife brings to the table. This is inclusive of the gifts that she brings to the table too. Our family is not where we are solely off of my efforts.
Well,
right?
yeah, 100%.
So I think the other thing that I've recently gotten into, I think I've always been reflective, but like I've started journaling recently.
Okay.
And whether that is like reflecting on something that I've read, whether that is like responding to different prompts, I've been more intentional about making sure that I'm thinking about applying different things to my life instead of just going through the motions. Right? I think it's easy to find ourselves just waking up. Where do I go today? Who am I going to serve? Yeah. Right? And putting ourselves last. Right?
Yeah.
And I think I've started to think more about like being intentional about pouring into myself, asking for what I need from Kendra, right? Communicating to her, like what's going on, what's coming up, and what I really want to do, as opposed to just hoping that the schedule works out and I find some time to maybe go do something.
Boy, you said a whole word right there. You didn't even realize it. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're so much better at it that and I used to kind of frame it to Kendra like you colonize the calendar, right? You fill up the calendar with so much stuff that I never have time to put anything on it.
Oh, colonizing that.
But that's not on her. Right?
Yeah.
That's not on her. It's on me for not being intentional about what I need. Right? What
if you just need to sit at home? What if you don't want to put shit on the calendar? It's by design.
And maybe I can put that on the calendar.
Leave me alone. Space, damn it. I'm going to put someone on the calendar that just says no. Go by yourself.
But that's communication.
Right? You're right.
It's communication. It's being intentional about what we need.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to just kind of accepting what's left over. And that's where I have been for, feels like my entire life. I just take and I've been able to make do, right?
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't got shit left. I ain't got it no more. I need what I need, and that we gonna have to figure this out.
Yeah.
So I gotta communicate that.
Yeah.
It takes intention on my part now. And so I think that's where one of the ways that I'm like starting. This is a growth edge for me. At this point. This is brand new. I don't typically. I'm not the planner, and
no man is.
Yeah. So like being intentional about what I need as it relates and speaking to like what my wife needs, because she is a planner. So I need to communicate. Hey, in 3 weeks I might need some time.
That's fair. Yeah. Leave me the fuck alone.
For me to do what I need to do, whether that's just going to a frat meeting, whether that is doing hanging out with fellas, whatever that is, right?
I need time.
I need some time.
And does she respect that?
Yeah, if I communicate it, right? So, if it just pops up, she might have an attitude about it.
Yeah.
But if I communicate to her what I need, particularly ahead of time, she's more receptive to that.
Wow, that's good. Good for her. And let me just clarify, right? Like, sometimes Devon will come to me and say, Jared, what you think about this? Mm-hmm. Thank you for asking, sweetheart. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
But why? And I say, well, I just want to sit at the house. Well, I kind of want you to go, but I don't want to go. Well, why don't you want to go? Because I don't want to go. Mm-hmm. And that goes back to, you can't just hang up the phone. She's in your space. And eventually you get worn down for her. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's fucking go. Mm-hmm. I'm not happy about it, but we're all here.
Let me get dressed, put on my smile, and coke in the smile and shut the fuck up.
Ain't coke for me. Got to be something a little stronger than that, Ferg. But my point is, you have that relentless and I'm not saying Devon is relentless. I've spoken a lot of different, and you probably have too. We're all married, and married men call married men and be like, hey, bro, tell me if I'm off base here. Yeah. Right, and some of the challenges are overlapping in marriages, right? So they say, Jared, like, have you ever told Devon no? And I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah. But it turns into a yes after 5 days of just fucking nagging the shit out of me, right? Mm-hmm. So they say, well, how do you do it? And I say, I don't, bro. I end up going. Yeah. Like, what do you want me to say to you? Like, so my thing is with you, you're saying that if you say it early enough, right? Mm-hmm. You're saying that Kendra will respect your wishes.
If I fill my space with something, right? Now, if it's just I want to stay home, even so.
Shit, that's.
But no, look. So sometimes maybe it's like we want to go to, I don't know, somebody's having a party. I don't really want to go.
Yeah.
Now you making me drop my secrets, but I think sometimes it's you know what, babe, I would love to go, but I think I could better use my time at home doing something that she wants me to do. Right? I think I could better use my time at home hanging.
Yeah, something. Let me fix this room. Come back. You ain't did shit.
You know, I was trying to get to it, babe, but it was
Eli was jacking up the house. The kids was just. That's a good trick. I'm gonna try that one.
I think my time could be better spent doing B.
That is why he's a doctor, America. Because I would have been like, I just don't want to fucking go. But no, that's good. That's good.
But most of the time, if I do that,
yeah.
I am going to try to make sure that I do what I say I'm going to do. And I'm going to use the rest of the time to myself.
Nah.
I'm going to give something in return for what I'm getting, which is the space.
Yes.
I'm giving something, because again, we got to give.
And
I think this is also the nature of relationships, right? But I got to give something in order to get what I desire, right? If it's just me missing out and not wanting to do something. Right,
boy, if every man watching this show don't remember nothing, remember that part right there. That was good. You know, sweetheart, I just think that you've been wanting this thing done, and I think this is the perfect space to do it in. You go ahead, you have fun. I'm gonna sit right here and make sure that I do this for you.
That's it.
But the kids start acting up. So
kids with
oh! Boy, you might have just saved my life. Okay, I'm done.
Oh man. And so what we're drinking today is Uncle Near's.
Yes.
Straight meat with some
the balls in here.
Orange garnish with some orange zest and
these grapes.
Cranberries.
Tasting and cranberry.
Woo,
that's cranberry.
That is cranberry. You brave. I don't do just straight cranberries like that.
Kendra made these.
But shout out to Uncle Nearest.
Yes.
Because shit fire.
Yes, 100%.
But we appreciate Mama Pod for leasing this space to us today, for us to vent and talk about
That's
things
it.
that we deal with as men. And we appreciate y'all tuning in and listening.
Thank you very much. Hope it helps.
Next time.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.